Alright, so we just got some pretty awesome news about the upcoming Punisher show earlier today. Now, if you guys didn't know, the show's official Twitter account tweeted out 13 different Morse code messages, and decoding them in order, we got the following: 3 a.m., 2 dead men, Kendar, resupply, Gunner, the Judas Goat, crosshairs, cold steel, front toward enemy, virtue of the vicious, danger close, home, and memento mori. Now, I think we can all agree that these are the show's episode titles, right? I mean, like I said earlier, we got 13 different tweets, and every other Marvel Netflix show had 13 episodes, so, you know, pretty simple connection right there. Now, a lot of these, like resupply, Gunner, crosshairs, I think these are just supposed to be references to Frank's military career, like front toward enemy. It's that classic text written on claymores, or virtue of the vicious, something that comes from the Oscar Wilde quote, "Patriotism is the virtue of the vicious." That having been said, I do think we can make some good theories based on some of these titles, like Kendar, for example. It's a city out in Afghanistan that's actually been referenced a few times throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In Iron Man, when Pepper searches Obadiah's computer, she finds documents mentioning that cargo was sent to terrorists in Kendar. In the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3 episode Laws of Nature, it's mentioned that Price actually spent time there while under a fake name. As for the Punisher, you might remember hearing about it in the second season of Daredevil, when the blacksmith is about to die and implies that everything leading up to Frank's war on New York's criminals was actually related to whatever happened to him and his unit in Kendar.
You think all of this is about a bad drug deal? It's about what happened with you, with all of us. Kendar! You think they would ever let that go?
What happened though? Well, I don't know, but I do think this is going to be a flashback episode to whatever happened, and might show one of the first instances of Frank being especially brutal towards some enemy that his unit managed to capture. Maybe that episode's going to show how much of the Punisher mentality was already in Frank, and how the death of his family was the end of a chain reaction creating the Punisher. Then there's the Judas Goat. That's a phrase usually referring to a singular goat that leads livestock like sheep or cattle somewhere, with the livestock usually ending up slaughtered. So based on that, I'm thinking this title is referring to one of three things. Either this episode's going to be set in the present, with Frank using somebody to lure out a lot of the criminals he's going after, or that somebody he trusted double crosses him and we find out that person was really leading Frank into a trap, or, and this is the one I'm personally leaning towards, this is going to be a flashback episode to the story we heard in the Daredevil episode Guilty as Sin, when Frank saved a bunch of lives and cleared a landing zone by using himself as bait to lure out a bunch of enemy fighters.
So the enemy had blocked this landing zone, knowing it was the only shot the team had to get out alive. All they had to do was wait. Frank went to the LZ.
So the men hear the firefight break out. All hell breaks loose. Frank against God knows how many. And then there was silence. They get to the landing zone, you know what they see? Frank Castle, standing there, grinning. 32 Moors surrounding him, all dead.
Danger close, meanwhile, is a phrase referring to when friendly forces are within close proximity of a target. I'm guessing it's going to be about Frank finally finding the main villain of the show, and before he starts shooting, he realizes maybe Micro or somebody else on his side is being held hostage. It could also mean that Frank finds the villain out in the open somewhere, and somebody on Frank's side also happens to be there, or something like that. And finally, there's memento mori. It's actually Latin. It means remember that you have to die. It's meant to be a reflection on mortality and death, with a lot of the medieval art featuring this theme centering on humans, especially skulls. I think this is really just referring to how Frank finally ends up killing his target, like they recognize that after all they've been through, they're finally going to die, and the last thing they end up seeing is the Punisher skull logo. I don't know, it's just a thought. But anyways guys, that's my take on the Morse code tweets from the official Punisher Twitter account. If you guys like this video, or if you have your own theories on each of these episodes you want to throw out there, then go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, I will see you all next time. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to click that like button, maybe leave me a comment while you're at it, and go ahead and click that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to check out any of my social media pages. I've got a Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. All those links are going to be in the description below. And I've also got my last video right there in the middle of your screen, so if you want to check that out, go ahead and click it, check it out. Alright, and I will see you all next time.